Today I'm standing along Highway 243, Old Woman Springs Road, and I'm just outside of Lucerne Valley. Hello, I'm A.G. Vasquez, and this is Maps and Legends. So, over here, I'm looking at what looks like a fairly unassuming hillside. From a distance, it is a very compelling outcropping of rocks that I noticed some time ago. I travel this road. I've traveled for many, many years. I think when I first got my driver's license, I used to come out here because it was really not a lot out here. But Lucerne Valley is rather deceptive in terms of the population. It's got a lot of houses and things spread out throughout the valley, even though it's a fairly rural area. It's a crossroads that historically for Native American tribes going up into the mountains. And even now, the Cushionberry Grade, Highway 18, crosses through here, and 247, and you can get further into the Mojave or up into the San Bernardino Mountains from here. So it's a very important point historically. And I was really drawn to that outcropping of rocks as I drove along Highway 243 one day. And as I drew closer and closer to it, and I felt like it was something necessary that I had to stop. And I have a habit, if you don't already know, of stopping at roadside markers. You can find out a lot of information. And sure enough, I pulled over, and it's a historic spot right here. It's called Chimney Rock. And as I've mentioned before, these plaques are replaced by Eclampus vitus. They're a historic preservation group in California, and they place these all over California, telling different stories about the state and historic locations. And right next to it is another monument that says the last Indian fight in Southern California. So if you look at the signs, and one again is an official monument put up by the state of California and Eclampus vitus. It describes this area, and I think I couldn't say it better myself, so I'm going to read what the clampers put down here. Conflicts between Indians and white settlers over the rich lands of the San Bernardino Mountains culminated in the battle at Chimney Rock on February 16, 1867. Although the Indians defended themselves fiercely, they were forced to retreat into the desert. In the years following, the Indians' traditional mountain food gathering areas were lost to white encroachment. The plaque was placed in 1986, dedicated here, and these are the hills that they came back to and fought out of. And over there are the passes in the pass, the one important pass going into the mountains. You can see in the distance a Mitsubishi cement plant. Next to that sign is another monument. It is not marked. We don't know who placed it here. There's no indication. It looks like there might be a date down here, 7/11, and I can't tell the end date. But it is a monument that does not have looks like any official sanction. And it says, in January 1867, Indians left their camp east of Chimney Rock to go into the San Bernardino Mountains, where they looted and burned several cabins and a sawmill. In retaliation, a posse surprised the Indians at their camp and killed and wounded many, thus ending hostilities. So we have an official version over here, and apparently somebody thought it important enough to have another version. Perhaps this preceded the Clampers monument here. But the two monuments are here side by side. And it tells a very compelling narrative here on the side of the road in an area that's very hard to access and has pretty much been forgotten in the history of California, a history that I was not even aware of until I took the time to pull off on the side of the road and learn a little more about our history and the cultural heritage of the area. As a professional historian and culture bearer, I'm aware of the differences between cultures and the issues and problems that are caused when cultures meet that have differing ideas of how to live their lives. But this is a very clear example of one very straightforward interpretation that still tells a compelling story, and another interpretation that, although we're not sure who put it up, it is definitely something that is more from a Western that you'd see on television. Again, here today on the side of the highway, Old Woman Springs Road, I'm A.G. Vasquez for Maps and Legends. Blessings.